Hey guys, so welcome to week 3, lesson 3. This lesson is due Friday by 11:59 p.m. As always, if you need help, reach out to me or to Mrs. Hernandez. There's also a new link for office hours here, so if you click, it will take you into the Google Calendar that has more slots, so you can sign up by clicking on any of these gray slots and input your name. Today's agenda has 5 parts, so you'll start by watching this overview video, doing an explain by analyzing a graph about bee populations. Step 3 is to elaborate by writing your CER paragraph. Please remember that this is your formative assessment for this week, so it'll go into the gradebook as part of the 90% academic or mastery grade. The 4th part is to evaluate your CER, make any edits to it that you need before turning it in. And then step 5, as always, is a reflection. When you finish, please don't forget to click Turn In on Google Classroom. So congrats, you're already working on step 1. Again, you just click on the picture and the link should be below. The weekly learning objective is you will be able to analyze data and explain how climate, carrying capacity, natural resources, and limiting factors affect the interdependence of ecosystems. Once you watch this video, you can scroll down to step 2. The directions for step 2 are to analyze this graph and to answer the questions below. So just to walk you through this bar graph, the title is Total U.S. Managed Honeybee Colonies Loss Estimates. So this is the topic, and this is what this bar graph is talking about. So up here on the top, there is a legend. So in case you're wondering what these different colors mean, this is what they refer to. So this greenish color means this yellow color means this, and this orange color means this. I don't exactly want to give everything away because I know it's one of the questions below. And then down here, this is the x-axis or the independent variable. This right here on the left is the y-axis or the dependent variable. So keep that in mind as you answer the questions. So for example, the first question is, what is the title of the graph? The second one, what is the independent variable? So I just gave you a hint by telling you that it's located on the x-axis or on the bottom of the graph. And so a lot of these are pretty quick questions that you can answer in less than a sentence, but just go ahead and click into the green box and type out your answer. So again, these questions are pretty quick, but all of these questions in green, there are 10 questions total, and like I said, they're pretty quick, so you should be able to answer them super quickly. They all refer back to this one graph. So as you answer those questions, please make sure that you are using this graph to answer. Once you complete these 10 questions, you're going to move on to taking a very short break. Once you're back from your break, you're going to start on step 3, which again is your formative assessment for the week. So this is the part that we are going to grade and enter into the grade book as a academic or mastery grade. The directions for this section are to answer both parts of the following question using the claim, evidence, reasoning format. The question is, how has the bumblebee population changed over the past 15 years? What limiting factors have contributed to this change? So we want you to answer all parts of this question. So we don't just want you to say how the bumblebee population has changed. We also want you to tell us what limiting factors have contributed to the change. When you write your answer, it needs to include 3 pieces of evidence to support your claim. Here are 3 places where you can gather evidence. The first is this YouTube video, the second is this article, and the third is the graph that was linked in step 2. The first 2, so this video and this article, both of these links were resources that we provided in lesson 3.2, but they're also linked here just for your own ease of access. The third one is, as I mentioned, the graph from step 2. So you can use any evidence from either of these 3 sources. And remember what we talked about last week as making good evidence. So again, good evidence is not just about your personal opinions or your feelings. So you're not going to say the bumblebee population is changing because I think it is, or I see less bees. It's based on some real evidence, real data, quotes, research, whatever it might be from these sources. You may also go back to Google Classroom, which is linked here, and take a look at lesson 3.2 from this week. This is also a place where you can find your draft claim evidence reasoning paragraph as a guide. So in the same lesson where this video and this article are linked, you wrote a draft CER, and so you can use that as a guide in this assignment. Please remember to include reasoning in your formative assessment. So last week we didn't include a reasoning statement. This week we're asking you to do that. And refer to the following rubric to see how your answer will be evaluated. So ideally all of you are aiming for a 100. In order to receive a 100, your claim must be scientifically accurate and completely answer the entire question. Your evidence must support your claim, be thorough and convincing, and provide enough details and evidence. And then finally, your reasoning has to directly connect the evidence and the claim and adequately describe how the evidence supports the claim. So please refer back to this, especially when you're editing your CER. You want to make sure that your entire paragraph meets all of these requirements so that you can get the best grade possible. So the first step is going to be to write your claim. This claim statement should answer the question, how has the bumblebee population changed over the past 15 years, and what limiting factors have contributed to this change? You can use this sentence stem, or you can use the claim that you wrote in lesson 3.2, whatever is easier for you, but please make sure you write it in this purple box. Next, you're going to select 3 pieces of evidence that support the claim you made above. So they should directly support your claim. This evidence, as I said before, can come from the article linked here, the video linked here, or the graph linked above. So remember, strong evidence includes direct quotes, data, statistics, or facts. Please type 1 piece of evidence per column. Then you're going to include a reasoning statement. So you're going to use at least 1 or 2 sentences to explain how your evidence directly supports your claim. So here you're going to connect what you wrote in these 3 boxes to your claim. So you are going to say something like, the evidence supports my claim because ... or each piece of evidence shows, and then insert why your evidence is strong and why it supports your claim. The final step will be to copy and paste all of the parts you wrote above into one cohesive paragraph here in this section. So you can copy everything that you wrote up here into this section and make sure that you add enough details to make it a cohesive paragraph. Once you do that, you can move on to step 4, which is to evaluate your formative assessment answer. So first, what you're going to do is, before you start editing your current one, go to Google Classroom and open lesson 2.3. This contains your formative assessment from last week. You're going to read over your formative assessment. We've graded them all by this point, so you're going to check and see what grade you received on your formative assessment. Once you check, you're going to type that into this box. Next, based on the rubric score that we gave you and the side comments on the last formative assessment, what is one thing you can improve on for this formative assessment? Once you type that answer here, you're going to click, and this will take you up to your final paragraph. You are going to make any final edits that you need to, taking into account the feedback from last week, before moving on. So please make sure that you edit your paragraph based on the feedback. Again, this is 90% of your grade. This is going into 90% of your grade. And so we want to make sure that you get the highest grade possible. If you have any questions or you want to look over it with us before you submit it, just reach out to us. We would be happy to do that. Your final step is a reflection as always. So make sure you watched this video, you analyzed the graph and answered the questions in step 2, completed all sections of your formative assessment in step 3, and then revised and edited your formative assessment CER in step 4. Then you will fill out these sections on how long the assignment took you and how easy or difficult it was. If you struggled, please reach out to us. You can click here to find our contact info. And as always, don't forget to click turn in. All right, everyone, we will see you next week in class.